Last week I made a video about how Love Island changed my life in 3 episodes, and it was not positive or helpful really in any way. And today I want to talk about how Love Island is changing as a show and changing the audience in this crazy world that we live in. If you're new here, I'm Job, a men's self-improvement coach, here to help you become more stronger, smarter, and more emotionally bulletproof in this world that seems to be losing its damn mind one reality TV show at a time. Now, let's talk about Love Island. You know, that beachy, bronzed up, overly filtered disaster of a dating show that comes in different flavors like USA, UK, and Australia. And probably next year it'll be in space. It's like the Marvel Universe, both more fake tans, lips, and fewer plot lines. But today isn't just about roasting the show. Well, it is a little, but the real reason we're diving into this is because Love Island and shows like it are straight up warping how young people understand relationships, dating, and what love is supposed to look like. So buckle up, grab a protein shake or your journal, whatever your self-improvement weapon of choice is, and let's break down exactly why Love Island is doing more damage than good. Let's start with the psychological warfare that this show wages on young minds. We've got 18 to 25-year-olds watching this religiously, and what they're seeing is an ultra-filtered, hypersexualized, emotionally dysfunctional circus. And here's the thing, when this becomes your standard of what dating looks like, you start to think it's normal to be paranoid, emotionally unstable, and in a love triangle by week 2 of talking to anybody. Young people, especially teens and early 20s, are like mental sponges. They absorb this chaos and start to mirror it in their real relationships. Suddenly, being exclusive is out and situationships are in. And commitment? Nah, that's just something the boomers did. You're basically teaching kids that love means fighting on camera, crying in bikinis, and coupling up with people based on how white their teeth are. It's not cool and it's not healthy. Now let's talk about the relationships, or should I say the situational shipwrecks. These shows are masterclasses in how not to date. The relationships are transactional. They're built on lust, competition, and attention, not trust, communication, or shared values. Let's be honest, the couples on Love Island aren't learning how to grow together. They're learning how to survive in the villa full of people that are trying to steal their partner and therefore getting voted off. That's not romance, it's a stress test. No wonder these relationships implode the second the cameras stop rolling. And we see these toxic behaviors normalized. Jealousy disguised as passion, manipulation presented as a game, or emotional stability treated as it's romantic. Young men and women are taking notes on this, thinking that this is modern love and it's what it is, and it's a battlefield of insecurity and fake connections. Meanwhile, actual emotional maturity, like asking someone how their day was without checking to see if they are texting someone else, is considered boring on TV now. Now, let's dive into one of the biggest red flags of Love Island, and that is the glorification of hookup culture. Now, I'm not here to shame anyone, but if you're an adult and you want to explore, then do your thing. But these shows really push the idea that physical intimacy is the start of a relationship, not something that develops over time when trust and connection. We've flipped the script. We used to get to know people on these shows. You'd hear about their families, their values, their fears. Heck, we even used to know what they did for a living. Now all we know is how fit they are and how well they can kiss underneath a waterfall. Think about the last episode or season that you watched and see if you can identify something personal that one of the Islanders say on camera. We never get to know their favorite color, favorite types of food, or the best places that they have been on vacation at anymore. Small things like this are not shown and rarely discussed anymore in this show. Love Island today feels like a Tinder profile with a production budget. And let's not pretend the show hides it. Every twist is about making someone steal someone else, breaking up connections just to see if they'll hook up with the next hot person that walks in. It's not a show about relationships, it's a game of musical beds with better lighting. Let's talk now about the editing for a second. These producers are absolute wizards when it comes to manufacturing drama. They will edit a look, a sigh, or a misinterpretation conversation into a full-blown scandal, because negativity sells these days. Positivity, not so much. I mean, look at my channel here, it's all positive stuff and I get like little to no views. So we rarely, if ever, see the healthy, supportive moments in these relationships on the show. The actual stuff that builds trust, deep conversations, vulnerability, forgiveness, and personal growth. That stuff gets left on the cutting room floor. Why? Because that doesn't make people tweet in all caps or throw their Crocs at the TV. But here's the problem. When we all see this negativity, we start to expect and accept it in our own relationships. We start believing that real love is toxic, dramatic, and exhausting. We forget that healthier relationships aren't always flashy. They're calm, consistent, and sometimes, dare I say, even boring, which is fine. And young people today are getting robbed of that perspective. Instead, they think dating is just one long-term game of who can manipulate the other better. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Love Island isn't just harmless entertainment. It's education in reverse. It's teaching young people how not to date, how not to communicate, and how not to love, all under the disguise of it's just a show. Think about it. We learn from what we watch and listen to, whether it's movies, music, or yes, trashy TV. These things shape our beliefs and expectations. So when a 16-year-old watches Love Island and sees their favorite contestant getting clout for being toxic, emotionally unavailable, or shallow, guess what they think gets rewarded in real life? That action. It's not just the viewers who are suffering either. Even the contestants themselves often come out worse than what they were. Mentally drained, insecure, and now expect to be relationship influencers with no actual skills or maintaining a healthy relationship. Not to mention the insane amounts of cyberbullying that they go through. We're glorifying dysfunction and then wondering why everyone is confused, anxious, and terrible at dating. You can't build a good relationship off bad blueprints. So, what do we do instead? First, we stop taking dating advice from people who can't even go 48 hours without recoupling. We stop idolizing dysfunction just because it's entertaining. And if you're serious about improving yourself as a man, as a partner, and as a leader, you need to start consuming content that actually teaches you something. Read books, watch people in healthy relationships, and have conversations with older couples who have been through the real stuff, not just 6 weeks in a luxury villa. And most importantly, date with intention. Don't just go for someone who looks good on the beach. Look for someone who shows up for things when the days are not sunny. Also remember, what you watch becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes how you behave. If you want real love, real connection, and real growth, you need real examples, not just a show that treats people like accessories and love is competition. Alright guys, that's it for today. If you got value from this, hit the like button and drop a comment on your biggest takeaway, and subscribe for more content that helps you become stronger, smarter, and more grounded versions of yourself. And if you still want to watch Love Island after this, just promise me that you'll treat it for what it really is, a cautionary tale. Stay focused, stay real, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.